New York City, the city that never sleeps. A place where dreams are built higher than skyscrapers, and every street corner whispers a story. It's the concrete jungle where ambition meets reality, where cultures from around the world converge to create something entirely new. We see the neon signs of Times Square, the bustling yellow cabs, and the iconic skyline, but how did this megacity come to be? Before the hustle and bustle, before the towering buildings, this was just a quiet island, and it all started with a vision that would change the world forever. Let's rewind the clock. Way back to 1609, an English explorer named Henry Hudson, sailing for the Dutch East India Company, stumbles upon a stunning natural harbor at the mouth of a massive river. He didn't find the shortcut to Asia he was looking for, but he found something just as valuable. News of this resource-rich land spread, and soon, Dutch settlers arrived. They weren't just passing through, they were here to stay. They established a settlement at the southern tip of the island and called it New Amsterdam. Life in New Amsterdam was all about trade. The Dutch built forts to protect their new home, laid down the very streets that still curve and wind through lower Manhattan today, and established a thriving fur trade with the local Native American tribes. If you've ever wondered why Wall Street has its name, it's because the Dutch built a defensive wall there to protect the settlement. It was a small, rugged outpost, but the spirit that defines New York today, that relentless drive for commerce and opportunity, was already taking root. It was a melting pot from its earliest days, a place where people from different backgrounds came together to do business. But the Dutch chapter of this story was short-lived. In 1664, the winds of change blew across the Atlantic. The English arrived with a fleet of warships, and without a single shot fired, they seized control of the settlement. King Charles II of England had gifted the territory to his brother, the Duke of York, and so, New Amsterdam was officially renamed. New York was born. Under British rule, the city's importance exploded. It became a critical hub for trade and a center of colonial power in the Americas. Its harbor was a gateway for goods, ideas, and people flowing between the old world and the new. But with growing power came growing tension. The colonists began to resent British control, the taxes, and the lack of representation. By the 1770s, the streets of New York were buzzing with talk of independence and revolution. The city was no longer just a trading post, it had become a stage for one of the most significant conflicts in history. When the American Revolution broke out, New York found itself at the heart of the storm. It became a major battleground. After a series of defeats, General George Washington and his Continental Army were forced to retreat from the city. The British occupied New York for most of the war, making it their military and political headquarters. During this time, disaster struck. In 1776. A massive fire, known as the Great Fire of New York, swept through the city, destroying hundreds of buildings. New York was left scarred and smoldering, yet, even from those ashes, the city's spirit of resilience shone through. It refused to be broken. After America won its independence, New York rose again, stronger than ever. For a short time, it even served as the first capital of the United States. George Washington himself was inaugurated as the first president right here, on the balcony of Federal Hall on Wall Street. By the early 1800s, New York was rapidly transforming into the commercial capital of the new nation. The real game changer was the opening of the Erie Canal in 1825. This incredible feat of engineering connected the Atlantic Ocean to the Great Lakes, opening up vast trade routes to the American heartland. Goods and money flowed into the city like never before, and its port became one of the busiest and most important in the entire world. The mid-19th century brought a new wave of transformation, one that would define the very soul of New York, starting in the 1840s and continuing for decades. Millions of immigrants began arriving, seeking refuge from famine, poverty, and persecution in their homelands. They passed through the gates of Ellis Island, their eyes wide with hope, all chasing the same thing: the American dream. Irish, German, Italian, Jewish, Chinese, they came from every corner of the globe. They brought with them their languages, their foods, their music, and their traditions, weaving them into the vibrant, multicultural fabric of the city. These new arrivals didn't just populate the city, they built it. They laid the tracks for its railways, worked in its factories, and fueled its incredible expansion northward up the island of Manhattan. As the city grew, so did its ambitions. The 20th century saw New York reach for the sky. Quite literally, a new kind of architecture began to dominate the landscape. The skyscraper, the Empire State Building, the Chrysler Building, the Brooklyn Bridge, these weren't just structures of steel and stone. They were monuments to human ingenuity and determination. They became powerful symbols of progress, visible for miles around, broadcasting to the world that New York was a city where anything was possible. Through the Roaring Twenties, the hardship of the Great Depression, and the turmoil of 2 world wars, New York kept building, kept growing, and kept climbing higher. It evolved from just a city into an idea global icon of energy, art, finance, and unrelenting resilience. But the 21st century would test that spirit of resilience like never before. The tragic events of September 11, 2001, left deep indelible scars on the city and the world. The fall of the Twin Towers was a profound loss that will never be forgotten. In the face of unimaginable heartbreak, New Yorkers came together. Out of that loss and grief, a powerful sense of unity and strength emerged. Today, the One World Trade Center stands tall and proud, not just as a part of the skyline, but as a beacon of remembrance, defiance, and enduring hope. New York, once again, reinvented itself. And that brings us to the New York of today, a global capital of finance, media, art, and innovation. From the relentless energy of Wall Street to the dazzling lights of Broadway, from the peaceful green expanse of Central Park to the rich cultural heritage of Harlem, the city's pulse beats with the rhythm of 1,000 different cultures. For centuries of history have shaped this incredible place. It's a living, breathing time machine, built by the hands and hearts of millions who dared to dream. New York is more than just a location on a map. It's a story, a testament to ambition, reinvention, and the power of the human spirit, the city that never sleeps, and its next chapter is still being written. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the history of New York City. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next adventure. See you in the next one.